Well, hello and good mornings. Welcome back to the Spirit of Watercolor with Linda. It's the end of summer and it's just been a wonderful summer, beautiful here where I live, and I hope it's been for you as well. And I would like us to go to the table here and to continue our beautiful spiritual journey together. So I hope that you're feeling motivated today, and I want to kind of get us really excited and motivated about flowing watercolors. This is not even quite finished, but it's loose and quick, and I did this in just a few minutes, and I want us to try this together, okay? Because what you're having here is a painting that's only taken me, this part maybe took 15 minutes, okay, at the most, maybe 10, and and most of it's finished already. We just need to put in some details and just have that loose flowing effect going. And there's a few things we want to talk about in this painting as we do it. So what you're going to need, okay, is Payne's gray, Cobalt blue. These, you'll have hopefully in your watercolor pretty common colors. I do have a green gold, which is sort of like a yellow green. It's kind of this is Daniel Smith, and then I've used some of the sap green, all Daniel Smith paints for me, but you could use Winsor Newton, whatever you have. I think Holbein has a spring green that would look like this. You can find something, or you can mix a yellow into your green, so you don't have to worry about that, having to go buy anything, right? So this is loose, this is quick, and like I say, I'll add in a little more detail, and you can also do more than I do if you wish after you get past this point, but this is to keep it fresh and lively, luminous, doing all the beautiful things watercolor does without laboring and getting too tight. And boy, I can get too tight. I have recently been finding if I try too much and spend too much time on a painting, they just get so labored looking and tight, and that's just not what I think watercolor's meant to do. Although if that's what you do and that's how you have a better hand at it than I do, because this is just how my style has it's just the way my style is. Some of this just is the way we're made, right? Some of us are more precise and some are not, and I'm just not one of those people. But I do think that this kind of quality in my work is, watercolor is the best media, let's say, to do this kind of thing. And I have had a lot of people say to me, Linda, how do you stay so loose? Well, like I said, there's some, skill involved, but there's also sort of a bend in my just nature toward it. So if this is you as well, or if you want to be more like this, please join me at the table. This is a small piece of paper. It's a good brand. Use a quality paper for this because you'll have the quickest and best results. Arches. This is Saunders. Stonehenge works really well for me. So there's some brands that I highly recommend. Fabriano. This is just a large sheet of Fabriano paper, and you can see this is rough, and this is the rough paper, but it also gets pretty nice and loose. And this is my last piece of it. But anyway, so pick a brand that you have found success with and use that. The size on this won't matter. Use any size you're comfortable with. I do recommend trying to get large and letting this stuff spread and just getting the feel for that, because, people purchasing paintings will want anything from small to very large depending on the space they're trying to use it in. So anyway, here we are, and it's another beautiful day in my state of Michigan, and I hope it is for you, and I hope you'll get inspired today by beautiful nature walk maybe. I'm going to do that too, and then getting into some paints with me. So I will see you at the table.
As usual, we go ahead and wet the paper, and just with clear water and my mop brush, and it's a Cotman Winsor Newton student grade, but it's a really good wash brush just to get the paper all evenly wet. And then we will start to add in our sky with the Payne's gray and the we'll come back after it sets up a little, come back with the cobalt blue.
Just FYI, I am not speeding this up because it's only about maybe 8 minutes and it's all done pretty quickly, like I said, so I'm not putting this in speed up form. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. And now we are moving into the other colors in a moment, and again keeping this nice and fresh and keeping it just, what you put on with the big brush, you can just get it on there and just keep going and letting it flow. Okay. And now we are adding in the green gold with the Laarge brush that I have, the Laarge round brush, the golden fleece, and the green gold color, which I love, just to get the information of the trees down quickly. And I'm keeping the point of the brush up above the wet area so that we kind of try to keep the tip or the top of the trees. Remember that we have the paper, or the block is angled. I have something underneath it at the top to let gravity make the paint flow down, is sort of like the reflection in the water it's implying here. So here we are going to add in some of the cobalt blue, and it's going to mix, and it's that push-pull. It turns kind of an aqua blue, but it's still cooler than the green gold, so it's going to make things look like they're more perspective, dimensional. Things go back with cool colors and come forward, so you're creating some perspective within those trees back there. And now we're adding in the cobalt blue also, again, but up into the clouds to create some, color shifts like we see in the skies. Sometimes you get that grayish sky going, but you still see some of the blue within, and I love that, don't you? You will see here that I soften some of the edges. In clouds you'll see, fine, almost like lines in the sky, hard edge. But you also see soft, things just dissipating and flowing up in the sky. It's so beautiful. And, we're trying to emulate these things with our paintings. Perhaps you've noticed that I go up into the sky and then I let things set up, and then I go down back into the lower part of the painting, into the trees and so forth. It's kind of good to let things set and just see where they go and keep an eye on them, and going back and forth. Never just stick to one spot in your page. I've said this in many other videos, but always a good reminder. Remember always to keep a paper towel handy because you may get too much water, and you can always take and absorb it just by pressing and lifting out the water from the painting. I think I've mentioned this, but I did not put in a horizon line. I'm just kind of putting that in as I go here. I'm just kind of like doing that sometimes. Sometimes I get the ruler out or I get a piece of tape across, the masking tape, but sometimes you just go in and just make it as you go with the wet on wet. That's kind of neat. I like that too. Another really cool watercolor effect is just having, the bottom of your paint just kind of look like it's down at the bottom, just all not even, just all uneven and just kind of, flowing at the bottom. It's just a lovely thing that watercolor does. It's a neat effect. You might want to try. So here you can see that this is how it looks just dry, and I'm gonna need to work on those trees and detail them more, right? And there's an odd line going through the trees on the left that I didn't notice, but I was thinking I could either add soften that with some lifting it out and then just softening it, or you could add some more color over it. You can fix these things, don't worry. I was even thinking of making a rainbow there, just taking that, and that could be the beginning of a rainbow. So use your imagination. Sometimes things with watercolor don't go exactly the way you want, and so what can you do with it? How can you work with it? But the main thing is this is fresh, vibrant colors, transparent. You haven't overworked it, right? And it's a beautiful start. So I hope that this is helpful to you, and that you will give this a try, getting wet on wet and just letting these paints flow in their gorgeous colors, letting them do what they do, mixing them only slightly. And I didn't use sap green like I talked in the beginning. Looks like it kind of looks like sap because of the cobalt blending with that green gold. So really 3 colors, that's all I used, and I think it's a lively, happy painting that I hope you will try, and I hope you'll keep coming back to the spirit of watercolor. I'm so glad you joined me and that you're continuing your spiritual journey with me. I'll see you soon in the next video.